You know, I was inspired by kind of a lot of science fiction films I saw as a kid from the 1970s and these kind of illustrated books that I had as a kid, which were done by artists like Chris Foss, Peter Elson. They were done, watercolor and marker, before the age of computer graphics. And they took place in these kind of daylight settings. And I hadn't seen a science fiction film in the daylight on Earth in a while, and I thought, it would be an interesting world to go back and explore. And when I saw images of Iceland, I instantly knew that that was the landscape of this movie. And seeing elements of our world poking up through the black sands of Iceland was a very haunting but beautiful landscape to tell this story. Well, I wanted Jack to be in a vehicle that would put the audience kind of in the seat next to him. It had to be something that had tremendous visibility and really showed the audience this world that he was exploring. So I'd seen an image and was familiar with the Bell 47 helicopter, which is one of the earliest helicopter designs, but it has this big glass bubble on the front and just gives this incredible visibility when you're flying around. So that was kind of the inspiration. That Bell 47 helicopter kind of crossed with the most modern fighter jet. And I felt that's where the bubble ship lived. So I did a couple very rudimentary images of this kind of glass ball on a stick with these two engines, and then sat down with my designers, Darren Guilford and Daniel Simon, and said, how do we make this feel like something that really flies? How do we make this as real as possible? How do we make it move in a way that we've never seen a aircraft move before? And we, spent 6 months, 9 months designing it, and then another 6 months building it. And to have something like that, full scale, I think gave it a reality in the film that's really important in movies like this. You have to believe that what you see on screen is really there. Tom and I do a commentary on the film, which you'll hear kind of a lot of the discussions we were having, both before and during making the picture, the kind of concepts we are dealing with, from a more character point of view, what characters are thinking about, what they're feeling, what the idea of scenes are. So you get like a little kind of behind the scenes look at the conversations that Tom and I were having on set while making the movie, and what we were striving for. As far as kind of behind the scenes, you'll see, everything from the design of the film to the production of the soundtrack, what it's like to shoot on location in Iceland, the amount of people required to bring a movie like this to life. For people who really want to learn about making film, I think it's a really interesting kind of behind the scenes peek at it. Well, you'll see it on the Blu-ray. It's a great scene. We actually captured that moment where he walked on the stage and saw it all together for the first time. And he's a real, aviation nut. He's a pilot. He's got a couple planes himself and flies himself. So I think he really appreciated the level of detail that we put into it to make it feel as real as possible. And I knew they had to be characters, even though they're these kind of mechanical objects. I wanted them to have personality. So that combination of kind of the design of them, the way they move, but also the way they sound was something I spent a lot of time on, kind of trying to bring them to life.